Are you tired of feeling stuck, knowing exactly what you need to do, but never actually doing it? What if I told you the secret to breaking free from procrastination isn't discipline, motivation, or to deleting social media? It's something far simpler, yet life-changing. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to crush laziness, overcome procrastination, and finally take control of your life, starting with just 2 minutes. Let's get started. So you're ambitious. You've got big dreams. You want to be successful and ultimately live the life you've always imagined. But there's a problem. You're lazy. You know exactly what you should be doing, yet you don't do it. This leads to feelings of guilt because, deep down, you know you're capable of so much more. This guilt builds up over days, weeks, and months until it turns into acceptance. Then the new year arrives, bringing with it the same goals from last year. You start off strong, fueled by motivation and maybe a bit of delusion. But before you know it, procrastination creeps in like that one relative who always shows up uninvited. Your lingering procrastination turns into a daily cycle of laziness. Eventually, you label yourself as a lazy person. So, how do you break this cycle and free yourself from procrastination? There are countless videos on the internet about this topic, but most of them only address the symptoms, like deleting social media or removing distractions. While these methods may help in the short term, they fail to address the real issue, the root cause of procrastination, which can be summed up in one word: inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency of objects at rest to stay at rest and objects in motion to stay in motion, unless acted upon by an external force. This also happens to be Newton's first law of motion, and it applies just as much to tasks as it does to objects. Getting started on any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push and some amount of energy to overcome the resting state of inertia. And this is precisely the issue. We make this initial push seem so big and difficult in our minds that we avoid the task entirely, distracting ourselves with cheap, dopamine-inducing activities. To break procrastination, we need to break inertia. And there are 2 ways to do this. 1. Lower the stakes and take the smallest step forward. Getting started is the most difficult part, so make it as easy as possible. For example, if you tell yourself, "I need to sit down and complete my 5,000-word essay," the inertia feels overwhelming because the stakes are too high. Instead, if you tell yourself, "I'll just write 50 words," the inertia is much lower, making it easier to get started without relying on willpower or discipline. 2. Use the 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like doing something, tell yourself you'll do it for just 2 minutes and then stop if you want to. For instance, if you don't feel like cleaning your room, put on a song, clean while the music plays, and stop when the song ends. The best part? You'll usually continue longer than 2 minutes or write more than 50 words. Why does this work? Because objects in motion stay in motion. Once you get started, you gain momentum, and this momentum keeps you going. Initially, it's like pushing a ball uphill, but once you pass the point of inertia, it's all downhill from there. That's why it's important to make the initial push small and easy. Reduce the stakes and start with just 2 minutes. You can apply these methods to any area of your life, whether it's going to the gym, working on your side hustle, maintaining relationships, or anything else. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step."